Okay. So now I just taking on notepad. What is the agenda for today's class is I'm going to take this class for the next 60 minutes. In the next 60 minutes, what you will learn is you'll learn introduction to Power BI. Okay, as part of this introduction to Power BI, what are the things you will learn is you will learn what is Power BI. First, you will learn what is Power BI. Once after learning what is Power BI, okay, before we want to learn what is Power BI, in order to learn Power BI, first we need to learn data analysis, guys. First, we will learn what is data analysis. What is data analysis? Then you will learn what is Power BI. And after you learn this, you learn how to perform data analysis using Power BI. How to perform data analysis using Power BI. These are the three things you will learn in today's class. Let's start one by one. So what is data analysis? Anybody know what is data analysis? What is data analysis means? There will be a lot of different definitions available in the Google, or there will be a lot of definitions available in the market about data analysis. Let me write one of the definition here. What is the definition is? Data analysis is a process which converts business data into actionable information, which converts business data into an actionable information, into actionable information. That is the definition for data analysis. Okay, you will understand. I'm telling data analysis is a process. What is the meaning for process? Anywhere when you said it's a process means collection of steps. Collection of steps. It will have multiple steps in it. Let me tell you what are the steps. Let me show you what are the steps you will have in the data analysis. I'm just going to open a Word document to show you what are the steps you will have. And we can see how many steps are there. Step 1 to step 5. This 5 steps together, we are calling it as what? Data analysis. Step 1 is OLTP. Step 2 is ETL. Step 3 is OLAP. Step 4 is creating reports. Step 5 is sharing the reports to the clients. All the 5 steps together, we call it as data analysis. To be more specific, I can even write like this. Data analysis is a 5-step process. How many step process? 5-step process. What that 5-step process will do? That 5-step process will convert company's business data into what? Actionable information, right? Okay, that is about data analysis. Now, let me show you graphically how it will look like. I'll just open data analysis architecture. So this is we call it as data analysis architecture. So we can call it as either data analysis or business intelligence. Both are same. Wherever you see business intelligence, wherever you see data analysis, both are one and the same. Uh, so this contains how many steps I am telling? 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? OLTPs, second step, ETL, third step, OLAP, fourth step, creating reports or visuals, fifth step, sharing with the clients. Let me write them, guys. So first we need to know what data analysis contains. Data analysis contains 5 steps. OLTP, second step, ETL, third step, OLAP, fourth step, create reports, fifth step, share reports to the clients. Share reports to whom? Clients. These are the 5 steps available in where? Data analysis, right? So in order to understand, first you need to understand these 5 steps in a detailed way. You need to understand what is ETL. You need to understand what is OLAP. You need to understand what is reports. Everything you need to understand. To make you understand these 4 steps, we'll start like this. I'll come back and I'll explain. Okay, for now we got an idea. Data analysis contains 5 steps. Now, okay, data analysis contains 5 steps. My question is, who will use this data analysis? Who will use which one? Data analysis. Who will use what? Data analysis. Okay, data analysis is there. Who will use it? Who will use the data analysis is each and every company will use data analysis. Will use what? Data analysis. No matter whether the company is small or big, that companies need to use what? Data analysis. So let's say when there are 100 companies, 100 out of 100 companies need to perform data. Let's say there are 1,000 companies. 1,000 out of 1,000 companies need to perform what? Data analysis. Every company must and should they need to perform data analysis. Guys. I'll tell you what is the reason. So in the market, there are lakhs of companies. How many companies are there? Lakhs of companies. That lakhs of companies need to perform what? Data analysis. That is the reason there is lot of jobs for data analysis these days. Why the companies need to perform data analysis? Each and every company will perform data analysis to take better business decisions. To take what? Better business decisions. When a company is running, they want to take the right decisions. If they take the right decisions, then only they will run successfully. In order to take the right decisions, must and should they need to do what? Data analysis. Okay, we'll understand that. Let me elaborate this point. You are telling each and every company, right? Need to do data analysis and decisions. What is this? Let me elaborate. Take when there is any company. Write some company names, random company names. I'll just write some company names. One of the company I can write is Flipkart, Amazon, ICICI, uh, Analytics Benchmark. This training institute name I'm writing, Analytics Benchmark. If you keep on writing the company names, we can write lakhs of company names like this. Okay, I just take some random companies. When there is any company, the company will do some business. When there is any company, what they'll do? They'll do the business. Flipkart is doing what type of business? E-commerce. Amazon is doing what type of business? E-commerce. They have other business also. Leave it about it. ICICI is doing what type of business? Banking. Banking business. Analytics Benchmark. This training institute is into what type of business? We are into education or we are into training. Education or training, guys. When there is any company, that company will do some business. When a company is doing the business, from the business, they'll get business data. What they'll get? When a company is doing the business, they'll get business data. Someone tell me, when Flipkart is doing e-commerce business, what type of data they'll get? When Flipkart is doing e-commerce business, what data they'll get? They'll get what? Orders related data. They'll get what? Returns related data. They'll get what? Customers related data. They'll get what? Products related data, and so on. I'm just writing some sample data. Now you guys tell me, when ICICI is doing banking business, they also get business data. What is the business data ICICI will get? Write some examples. They'll get transactions data, day-to-day transactions data, savings account data, credit card data, loans data. And if you keep on writing, we can write lot of different data. You take analytics benchmark when they're into education. We also get the business data. Tell me guys, what business data analytics benchmark will get? What type of business data will get? When
GK
analytics
data?
benchmark is doing education business, they also get the data. Students data. The most important business data for us is what? Students data, staff data, courses related data, fee related data. And if you keep on writing, we can write lot of data. So understand, when a company is doing any business, they'll get what? Business data. When a company is getting the business data, that business data will be carefully stored. Every company, what they'll do is they'll go and store their data in some place. Some companies will store the data in where? Excel files. Some companies will store their data in where? SQL Server database. Some companies will store their data in where? Oracle database. Some companies will store in MySQL database. Some companies will store in DB2 database, and so on. Companies will store their business data in some place, case. Must and should they'll store. Every company, what business data they're going to get, that data will be carefully stored. Wherever companies are storing the business data, we call it as a data source. We call it as what? Data source. Companies will store the business data in some data source. What are the examples I given for data source? Some companies will store in which data source? You, Excel.
Excel.
Some companies will store SQL Server.
Report
Some companies will store Oracle. Some companies will store in DB2. Some companies will store in MySQL, and so on. Companies might store their business data in different varieties of places. We call them as data sources. Wherever the companies are storing their business data, we can call it as data source. So once the business data is stored in the data source, companies want to analyze the data. Companies want to analyze the data. Analyze the data means understanding where we are doing good and where we are doing bad. Companies will want to analyze the data to understand where we are performing good and where we are performing bad. Let's say Flipkart is selling 100 products. Out of 100 products, which products are selling good? Which products are selling bad? Understanding that is nothing but analyzing the product data. Analyzing the product data. Let's say ICICI branch is operating in 1,000 branches. Out of 1,000 branches, which branches are performing good? Which branches are performing bad? Understanding that, we call it as analyzing the data. Analyzing the data means the process of understanding where we are doing good or bad. So companies, once the business data is stored in the data source, they want to analyze the data. Which products are selling good? Which products are selling bad? Which branches are doing good? Which branches are doing bad? That comes under analyzing the data, guys. Companies need to analyze the data to take better business decisions. Why companies need to analyze the data? Companies need to analyze the data to take better business decisions. To take better business decisions, guys. In order to take better business decisions, companies need to do what? Analyze the data. So let me give an example for this. Now, ICICI Bank is operating in 1,000 branches, let's say. Out of 1,000 branches, they are planning to close 10 branches. When they want to close 10 branches, how they will close it? Will they, out of 1,000 branches, what ICICI Bank is planning to do? They want to close 10 branches. They want to take the decision to which 10 branches they want to close. They want to take one decision, which 10 branches. Will they randomly go and pick the branches, or what they'll do? Out of the 1,000 branches, will they randomly pick the 10 branches and close it, or how they will close it? They don't randomly go and pick and close it. What they'll do, they'll take the 1,000 branches data and they'll do what? Analyze. They want to analyze 1,000 branches data. When they analyze, they will understand which branches are doing good, which branches are doing bad. They'll go to the branches which are doing bad and they'll pick the 10 branches. And they'll close the 10 branches. In order to take this decision, must and should I need to do what? Analyze the data. Without analyzing the data, if I randomly go and take 10 branches and close it, I might close the branches which are doing good. It will create an impact on the business. I need to close only the branches which are doing bad. For that, must and should I need to analyze the data. That's what companies need to do. What? Analyze the data to take what? Better business decisions. Without analyzing the data, if you go and take the decisions, you might take wrong decisions. Okay. So in order to analyze the data, companies required something called reports. Any companies required reports. For what purpose? Companies required reports to what? Analyze the data. In order to analyze the data, companies required something called reports. Let me show you how the reports will look like. We guys are telling that companies required some reports to analyze the data, right? I'm going to show you how the reports will look like. I'm just going to show you. Oh, sorry. Just a second. How the reports will look like, I'll just show you guys. I'm just going to log in here to show you how the reports will look like. I'll just open some sample reports to get some clarity in how the reports will look like. I'm just going to open some reports. I just open a couple of reports here. This is how the reports will look like. You guys are able to see some reports here. This is how this complete one we call it as a report. What is the name? This one complete one we call it as a report. This is how the reports will look like. This is how this kind of reports are required to analyze the data. Just I'm showing this kind of reports are required to analyze the data. So I'm just opening another report. This is another report. This is how the reports will look like. This kind of reports are required for the companies for what purpose? I'm telling this kind of reports are required for the companies to analyze the data. To analyze the data, we need to create this kind of reports. Let me show you one of the report to you. There is one report with the name called this complete one. We call it as one report. What is the title of the report you are seeing? E-commerce sales report. What is the report name? E-commerce sales report. This kind of reports are required. Each one we call it as a visual. Line chart is one visual. Column chart is one visual. Donut chart is one visual. Scatter chart is one visual. Map is one visual. Each one is a visual here. All the visuals together we call it is a report. Try to understand. Each one is a visual. All the visuals together is one report. This kind of reports are required for what purpose? To analyze the data. Let me tell you, I'm just going to one of the visual here where you are having in this visual what information you have. Subcategory wise profits. What you are showing in this visual? In this visual, you are showing each subcategory, what is the profit. My company is selling lot of subcategories like copiers, phones, papers, chairs, and so on. Lot of subcategories are there. So when you share this visual with your company people can understand where we are doing good, where we are doing bad. These visuals will help companies to understand where we are doing good and bad. This visual will help companies to analyze the data. So when I share this visual with my company people, my company can understand which subcategory is generating more profits. Copiers is generating. What is the second highest profits? Phones. What is the least profits? Tables. Tables is getting how much profits? Minus 18K. Profit number in minus means what? Loss. We can see suppliers, bookcases, and tables are generating what? Losses. When I share this visual with my company people can understand where we are doing good and bad. Based on that, they'll take some decisions. They'll take what? Decisions. One decision my company taken here is they're planning to stop selling suppliers, bookcases, and tables. When I share this visual with my company people, they decided to stop selling suppliers, bookcases, and tables. Why? They're getting losses. When I share the same visual with my company people decided to concentrate more on copiers business and phones business. They're generating huge profits. They're planning to go with this, mostly concentrate in this area. Like this, they'll take the decisions. That's what we are telling. Companies require this kind of reports. That kind of reports will help to understand where we are doing good and bad. That will help us to analyze the data. Companies require reports to analyze the data. So when any company want to create the report, they need to perform the complete data analysis process. Guys, try to understand. Any company which is planning to create the reports, they need to perform this complete data. People will think that we'll directly go and create the reports. Before you create the reports, we need to do lot of work. We need to do ETL work. We need to create OLAP database. Then only we'll create the reports. We don't create directly the reports. Before creating the report, there is a lengthy process available. That process name is what? Data analysis. So to create the reports, companies need to perform data analysis. To create reports, companies will perform data analysis, guys. Will perform data analysis. Companies need to perform this 5 steps. By performing this data analysis steps, we'll create the reports, guys. Okay. Now, final point is when there is any company, you take every company will perform what? Data analysis. Why companies will perform data analysis? In order to create reports. Why companies need to create reports? To analyze the data. To analyze the data. Why companies need to analyze the data? Companies require reports to analyze the data. Why companies need to analyze the data? To take decisions. To take what? Decisions. Any company, in order to take the decisions, first they need to analyze the data. Any company to analyze the data, they require what? Reports. Any company to create the reports, they need to perform what? Data analysis. Each and every company will perform data analysis. Using the data analysis, they'll create the reports. That reports will help us to analyze the data and to take the better decisions. To take the better decision. That is about data analysis, guys. Once you understand, now we got an idea who will use the data analysis means. Every company will perform this data analysis. Now, okay, let's understand this data analysis each step one by one. I'll make you understand each step one by one now. Now, before I explain this each step, let me introduce one word called who is data analyst. Who is data analyst? Who is data analyst? Who is data analyst means the person who will perform data analysis is a data analyst case. The person who perform the data analysis, the person who performs data analysis is a data analyst, is a data analyst. The person who perform data analysis, this who do this ETL, who create this OLAP database, who create the reports, who share the report with the clients, the person who do these 5 steps, that person name is what? Data analyst. What is that person name? Data analyst. Who is data analyst means? The person who perform the data analysis is a what? Data analyst case. Who do these 5 steps? Now, okay, let's understand these 5 steps. In the data analysis, what is the first step? OLTP. We'll try to understand what is OLTP. What is the full form for OLTP? Is online transactional processing. I'll just tell you what is OLTP. OLTP, online transactional processing, right? The place where company stores the business data, we call it as OLTP, guys. The place where companies stores business data, we call as OLTP. Business data we call as OLTP, guys. Wherever the place where companies are storing their business data, we call it as what? OLTP. If my company is storing the business data in the SQL server, that SQL server I can call it as OLTP. If my company is storing the business data in the Oracle, I can call Oracle as OLTP. Software field have a different terminology. So wherever we store, we store the buses. We call it as bus depot, right? So wherever we store the business data, we call it as OLTP. So like this, it's a terminology just. So wherever companies are storing their business data, we call it as OLTP. How you got the name OLTP means? How you got this name OLTP means? Business data, another name is transactional data. What is the another name for business data? Transactional data. Wherever we store the transactional data, they're calling it as online transactional processing because it stores transactional data. Try to understand. Wherever companies are storing their store transactional data, wherever we store transactional data, we call it as what? Online transactional processing. That in short, we call it as what? OLTP. Simple. OLTP is nothing. Don't make it complicated. Wherever companies are storing their business data, that is OLTP. So every company will have one or multiple OLTPs to store their business data or transactional data. Every company will have one or multiple OLTPs to store what? To store business data or what? Transactional data. What we are trying to tell is some company will have only one OLTP. Some companies will have multiple OLTPs. Either one, in the bracket I write S. That is the place where companies store their business data. Some company will have only one OLTP. Some companies will have multiple OLTPs. What is the reason multiple OLTP means? Take an example, ICICI Bank is there. ICICI Bank will have lot of different data. They'll have savings account data. They'll have credit card data. They'll have loans data and so on, right? Each data might be stored in a different place. Savings account data might be stored in SQL Server. Credit card and loans data might be stored in Oracle. So like this, how many OLTPs now? 2 OLTPs. There are chances companies might store in single place or multiple places also. That's what I written. Okay. So what happens is, okay, companies generally store the data in the OLTPs. What they want to do is they want to analyze the data, what is there in the OLTPs. So now companies will provide one or multiple OLTPs to the data analyst. Companies will provide either one or multiple OLTPs to the data analyst. To whom? To data analyst, and ask to create which one? Reports to analyze the data. To analyze the data. So tomorrow, when you become a data analyst, company will provide this OLTPs to the data analyst. Once they provide OLTPs to the data analyst, they'll ask you to create what? Reports. They'll ask you to generate this kind of reports. Why the companies will ask you to generate this kind of reports? Why the companies will ask you to generate this kind of report? This kind of reports will help companies to analyze the data. So Important point is, even though company provided OLTPs, when they ask you to create the reports, it is never recommended to create the reports directly on OLTPs. Important point you need to understand is, make a note. It is never recommended. It is never to perform analysis directly on where OLTPs, guys. I'm telling that it is never recommended to perform analysis directly on OLTPs. That means it is never recommended to create reports directly on OLTPs. It is never recommended to create reports or perform analysis. It is never recommended to create reports or perform analysis directly on what? OLTPs. There are many reasons why these OLTPs are not useful for creating the reports. There are many reasons, multiple reasons are there. One major reason is there are chances OLTPs contains unstructured data. What data? Most of the times, OLTPs have unstructured data. I'll tell you what is unstructured data. That unstructured data today itself, I'll tell you that unstructured data is not useful for what? Creating the reports. Creating the reports. So that is the reason. Now what is the next step is, okay, OLTP was provided by to the data analyst, and client is asking to create the reports. I'm telling that OLTPs are not useful for creating the reports. Now, data analysts need to create a new database. Data analysts need to create a new database. Data analyst need to create a new database called OLAP. Called what? OLAP, to create reports. To create what? This existing database, what is there in the company, that is not useful for what? Creating the reports, because it have unstructured data. So we need to develop. Who will develop this OLAP database? Data analyst. Data analysts need to create this new, it's a brand new database which will be developed from the scratch by the data analyst. Once we develop that database, we'll use it for creating what? Reports. We'll understand. Okay. Now it's a brand new database, right? We need to move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database. What OLAP stands for is, OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. I'll tell you how you got this name, Online Analytical Processing. Now, we need to move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database. To move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database, we need some softwares called ETL softwares. Guys, what softwares? ETL. To move data from OLTP to OLAP database, we need ETL softwares. What we need? ETL softwares. What is the ETL stands for? Extract, transform, load. What ETL stands for? Extract, transform. This extract, transform, load, we will talk more about it. They are required to move it. Now I'm telling that we need to move the data. It's a new database. We need to move the data, we are telling, right? What data we need to move to OLAP is, it is not necessary to move all this business data to OLAP. While moving the data to the OLAP, we need to move only data required for analysis purpose. What data? Analysis. What is the meaning for that is, so what data we need to show in the reports, that data only we need to bring it here. Assume in OLTP you have 100 tables. How many tables are there in OLTP? 100 tables. My client is asking to create the reports. In the reports, they're asking to show only 10 tables data. How many tables data client want to see in the reports? 10 tables. Can we create reports directly on OLTPs? No. We need to create a database called OLAP that we need to use to create the reports. Now we need to move the data from OLTP to OLAP. While moving the data from OLTP to OLAP, will you move 100 tables or 10 tables? Only 10 tables. We need to move only the tables what we need to use to create the reports. We need to move only the data what is required to create the reports. That we call it as data required for what? Analysis. OLAP contains only data required for analysis. So we call the data as analytical data. What type of data OLAP will contains? OLAP stores only data required for analysis. We call it as analytical data. Analytical data. As we are storing analytical data here, in OLAP you are storing what data? analytical data. That is the reason we call it as what? Online analytical processing. In short, we call it as what? OLAP. So now when it comes to OLAP, in the OLAP data will be in the structured format. So OLAP will have data in what format? You are telling that OLTP have unstructured data. OLAP is getting the data from OLTP only, but it is getting through ETL software, right? ETL software have the capability to convert what? Unstructured to structured. E stands for extracting the data. T stands for transforming the data. L stands for loading the data. Here, T is the major work. T stands for transform. Transform means converting the unstructured data to what? Structured. In ETL tools, you will do the cleaning. Whatever the data, unstructured data is there in OLTP, it will take to the ETL tools, it will clean the data, or it will transform the data. And the transformed data will be stored in a database called what? OLAP. That OLAP database will use it for what? Creating the reports. OLAP database is having what data? Structured. That structured data is best suitable for what? Creating the reports, guys. Now, let's try to understand with small example, what is unstructured data? What is structured data? With a small example, we'll understand. Why unstructured data is not useful for creating the reports? What is structured data? Why it is required? We'll understand. To explain this, I'll open a small slide. Um, so look at here. So just don't think much about this. This is how the data will be in the OLTP. Take this first table is how the data will be in the OLTP. Take this second table is how the data in the OLAP. Generally, OLTP will get the data from different people. Let's say in the Amazon or Flipkart, only one customer will place the order or multiple customers will place the order. Multiple customers. Each customer can input the data in a different format. If I ask different people to write the country name, one person will write the country name like US. Second person like complete United States. Another person like USA. Different formats they might input the data. As OLTP is getting the data from different source, different people, there are chances you'll get the data in different formats. So when the data is in different formats like this, that is we call it as unstructured data. What data? And one person write the country name as United States, second person like US, U.S. USA. So now it is unstructured, guys. But when you move this data from OLTP to OLAP, how you will move the data from OLTP to OLAP? I said using ETL. Using ETL. In the ETL, we will clean it. We'll convert US to what? United States. We'll convert US dot to what? United States. We'll convert USA to what? United States. Where you will do all this kind of conversions in the ETL. So now in the OLAP, you'll have all the country names in the same format or not? Yes. When the data is in the same format, we call it as structured. Now let me tell you what is the problem when you have the data like this. What is the advantage of having the data like this? Now we understand OLTP will have unstructured data like this. When you go and send the data to ETL, you the data, that clean data, you'll store it in OLAP database. That's what we understand. Now we understand here we have the proper data. Now what is the next step is? Next step, next, go to the next slide. In the next slide, you go and understand the next slide. In the next slide, what I can see is, I'm trying to create this visual using OLTP. This table is there in where? OLTP. I try to create this visual. This is structured data or unstructured data? Unstructured. I try to show country-wise sales. It is showing some country-wise sales. When I share this visual with my company people, my company said that this visual is wrong. Why this visual is wrong is, this visual is telling that we are doing the business in 7 countries and you are showing 7 sales values. In reality, my company is not doing the business in 7 countries. They're doing the business in what? Only 2 countries. One is United States.
Hello.
Second one is United Kingdom. I would like to show only 2 sales numbers here.
Hello.
Not the yes. Not the 7 sales numbers. So the problem is not with the visualization. The problem is not with the visualization. The problem is with what? Data. In order to create the visuals, we required clean data. We don't have clean data here. You forcefully creating the visual on unstructured data. Obviously, you'll get meaningless results. Now go to the next slide. Now, if you go to the next slide here, this is the data, how it is there in where? OLAP. It is structured or unstructured? Structured. You are trying to create the visual. What this visualization tool now is it will take all the United States and it will group as one value. After grouping it, it will do sum. When it sum all these four values, five values, how much will get? 1500. It will group the similar values into one and it will do sum. What is the sum? 300. Now, when I share this visual with my company people said that this visual is correct. I'm doing the business in two countries. United States is the one where we are doing more sales. United Kingdom is the one where we are doing less sales. They can do some analysis now. That's what, guys. Right? I hope you got a basic idea. When OLTPs contains unstructured data, which is not useful for what? Creating the reports. If you forcefully go and create the reports, you don't get meaningful results. The data, you need to send it to ETL software, so you need to clean the data. The clean data you need to store in a database called what? OLAP. That clean data, we need to use it for what? Creating the reports. We need to go and create the reports using the clean data. Now you guys tell me, you are seeing a lot of reports here, right? These reports will be created on OLTP or OLAP? These reports, what you are seeing here, will be created on OLTP or OLAP?
OLAP.
OLAP. Always we need to create the reports on OLAP. Okay, guys. Now we got an idea what OLTP means, what it contains. OLTP contains business data mostly in what? Unstructured. So the data required cleaning, where you will do? ETL. The clean data, we need to store it in one place. Where we will store? OLAP. OLAP contains data required for analysis in the structured format. That OLAP data, we generally use it for what? Creating the reports. The information which you are showing in the reports, we call it as actionable information. What information? Actionable information. The information which you shown in the reports, we call it as what? Actionable information. Why we call it as actionable information means, when I share these reports with my clients will see the data in these visuals and clients will take the actions. I already said that when I share this visual with my client take two actions. What are the two actions they've taken is, one action they've taken is planning to stop selling what? Supplies, bookcase and tables. That is the first action. What is the second action they've taken? They are planning to concentrate more into the copiers and phones. This kind of actions they are going to take. This kind of decisions they are going to take. That is the reason the information what is there in the visual, that is used for taking the actions or decisions, right? Now read the definition of data analysis. What is the definition I given for data analysis? This is the definition. Now read the definition. I said that data analysis is a 5-step process which converts business data into what? Business data is available in where? OLTP. Actionable information is available in where? Reports. To convert the business data into actionable information, first, data analyst need to do ETL. Second, he need to create OLAP database. Third, he need to create reports. The three major steps what a data analyst will do is, one is what? ETL, cleaning the data. Second step is what? Creating OLAP database, storing the clean data, and then using the data for creating the reports. So out of these 5 steps, OLTPs will be already available in the company. Data analyst will not build them. Already available in the company. Data analyst first work is what? ETL. Second work is what? Creating OLAP. Third work is what? Creating report. Fourth work is sharing the reports. Sharing the reports to the client is a easy task. It is what? Easy. It's not that complicated. That is about the data analysis case. We understand what is data analysis. Now, by this time, you people got an idea what is data analysis. Once you understand data analysis, understanding Power BI will not take just hardly 10 minutes, guys. Now you have a complete knowledge about data analysis, right? Now let's go and understand what is Power BI. What is Power BI? Who developed Power BI? Microsoft is the company developed what? Power BI. So what is the reason Microsoft developed Power BI? Microsoft developed Power BI for what purpose? Microsoft developed Power BI to analyze the data, guys, to perform data analysis. Microsoft developed Power BI to perform which one? I said that companies need to perform data analysis, right? Data analysis means how many steps? when companies need to perform these 5 steps, their first option nowadays is Power BI, guys. So there are many software which can perform these 5 steps. There are many softwares, not only Power BI. Let's say I want to purchase one car. I have many options. I have Tata cars. I have Maruti cars. I have Mahindra cars. So I have a lot of cars. So I can use I can purchase one of the cars. In the same way, to do data analysis also, there are a lot of companies developed data analysis softwares. Microsoft developed which data analysis software? Power BI. So Tableau software is there. ClickView software is there. There are a lot of softwares available in the market which can perform these 5 steps. But even though there are a lot of softwares, the most extensively and widely used software nowadays to perform data analysis is what? Power BI. I'm not just telling, I'm teaching it. There is a Gartner who will give the rankings to the BA tools. When I open that Gartner report, who will give the rankings? Every year in the month of May or sometime they'll give the rankings. When they give the rankings in the leaders board, which one is in the top place? Microsoft. And second place? Tableau. When compared to Tableau, Microsoft Power BI is far ahead. So in order to perform this data analysis, companies need to choose one of the software. Companies need to choose what? Choose one of the software. Companies need to go and choose one of the software to perform what? Data analysis. So what is the software companies are choosing mostly? Microsoft Power BI. So not only for this 2015 year, almost from last 6 consecutive years, Microsoft Power BI is in the first place. This rankings is for what? This rankings is for data analysis, guys. This rankings is for data analysis. Now, okay, guys. Now we'll try to understand what is this Power BI? How we will do this data analysis? So first point you need to know is Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. It's not the name of a single software. It's the name of multiple softwares. What are the different softwares available in Power BI is? First one is Power BI Desktop. Second one is Power BI Service. Try to concentrate. Third one is Power BI Report Server. Power BI Report Server. Fourth one is Power BI Mobile. These are the 4 softwares available in Power BI. So what happens? We call this, these are the 4 softwares available in Power BI, guys. These 4 softwares together, we call it as a collection of softwares. For them, Microsoft given the name called what? Power BI. Out of the 4 softwares, the most important software here is Power BI Desktop. What is the most important software? Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is a development software in Power BI. It's a development related software in Power BI. 90% of time, Power BI developer will work in Power BI Desktop. 90% of time where they will work? Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is a development software where we will work for 90% of time. And this Power BI Desktop internally contains how many softwares? Again, these 3 softwares are there, right? We will work for only 10% of time. These 3 softwares are small softwares. What is the major software in Power BI? Power BI Desktop. 90% of time you will spend in desktop only, you will do development. Now, let me open Power BI architecture, guys. If you go and see this Power BI architecture, in this Power BI, sorry guys, just a second. This is Power BI architecture. When you go to this Power BI architecture, so Power BI Desktop again contains 3 more softwares. What are the 3 more softwares?
Sir, we are unable to see the screen.
We're unable to see your screen.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now you are able to see it, right? Right. So Power BI Desktop contains 3 softwares internally. What are the 3 softwares available in Power BI Desktop? Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. Try to understand. Power BI Desktop internally contains how many softwares I'm telling? 3. What are the 3 softwares? Power Query. What is the second software? Power Pivot. What is the third software?
Power BI, Power Pivot, Power Query.
Power View. These are the three softwares internally available in Power BI Desktop, guys. Okay. Now, okay, finally, I listed all the softwares available in Power BI. Power BI Desktop have three softwares internally. I listed it. We need to use all these softwares, and I need to do this data analysis, guys. Right? Once you learn the Power BI, you'll become a Power BI data analyst. Try to understand. You join this course and you learn Power BI for 2 months. After you learn Power BI for 2 months, you'll become a Power BI data analyst. What you will become? Power BI data analyst. Once you learn Power BI, you'll become a Power BI data analyst. Okay, this Power BI data analyst you become, right? Now, so Power BI data analyst, what we need to do? Power BI data analyst need to use the Power BI related softwares. These are the softwares you need to make use. Using the softwares, you need to perform what? Data analysis, right? Now, to the Power BI data analyst, who will provide this OLTPs? Who will provide this OLTPs to the data analyst? Power BI data analyst will create them, or companies will provide them? I'm asking. To the Power BI data analyst, who will provide this OLTPs? Company will provide it, or
The
Power BI
company will
data
provide
analyst
it.
will create it?
Company will provide it.
Company will provide it. Company already will have them, they will provide it. Once company provided, that OLTP have what data? Unstructured data. We need to clean it. That unstructured data we need to clean in what softwares? ETL. Where we will do that ETL in Power BI is, Power BI have a lot of softwares. Out of lot of softwares, which software we will use to do what? ETL. To do ETL, we will use a software called what? Power Query. Write that point. Power Query is an ETL software in Power BI. Is an ETL software in Power BI. You can look at this architecture slide. Power Query is what software here? ETL. It will extract the data. OLTPs also call it as what? Data sources. Wherever our companies are storing the business data, I can call it as either OLTPs, I can call it as what? Data sources. Both are same. It will extract the data. In Power Query, it will transform the data. The transformed data will be loaded into Power Pivot. In the Power Pivot, you will design OLAP database. You load the tables in Power Pivot, right? That you will design. Okay, guys, we understand that ETL will be performed in the Power Query. After we do ETL, we need to create what? OLAP. Where we will create OLAP in the Power BI means, in Power BI, we'll create OLAP in where? Power Pivot. Power Pivot is a database which is used to create OLAP. Power Pivot is a database which is used to create which one? OLAP. Look at here. Power Pivot is a database which is used to create OLAP. How SQL Server is one database? How Oracle is one database? Power Pivot is also a what? Database. How you will store in the SQL Server in the form of tables? How you will store the data in Oracle in the form of tables? Power Pivot also will store the data in the form of tables. You extracted the tables, you transform the data in the tables, and you load the tables into Power Pivot. Power Pivot will store the tables because it's a database. Using the tables, it will design what? OLAP. Okay, you'll understand more about it. We got an idea. ETL will be performed in the Power Query. OLAP database will be created in where? Power Pivot. After your OLAP is ready, what is the next step? What is the next step Power BI data analyst need to do? Create reports. Where will create the reports? Power View. Power View is a software which is used to create the reports. Power View is a software which is used to create the reports. Which is used to create reports. Right, guys? So once you create the reports, that reports contains what? Actionable information. So this kind of reports you are seeing, right? This kind of reports will be created using what software? Power View. Which software? Power View. Once you create this kind of reports, what you need to do? Once you create the reports, that we need to share with whom? Clients. Power BI Desktop cannot share the reports to whom? Clients. Last step. Once you create the reports, what is the last step? We need to share that with the clients. Power BI Desktop don't have the capability to share the reports to the clients. In order to share the reports to the client, first from Power BI desktop, we need to move the report to Power BI service. From there, we need to share with the clients. We need to move the report to Power BI report server. From there, we need to share with the clients. Right? So try to understand. In order to share the report, I need to use either Power BI service or either I need to use Power BI report server. Either I need to use what? Power BI report server. So these are the softwares used to share the reports with the client's case. Okay. Next step is we understand all this. Next step is I publish the reports. Now you might need to get one question here. What is the question you need to get is, in order to do ETL, we have only Power Query. In order to create OLAP database, we have Power Pivot. In order to generate the reports, we have Power View. In order to share the reports to the clients, we have Power BI service and we have Power BI report server. Why there are two softwares to do the same work? Microsoft developed duplicate softwares. Why? So that two softwares are not the same. What you need to understand is, one is a cloud software, cloud-based software. Second one is a on-premise software, on-premise. One is cloud. Second one is what? On-premise. No company will use both this cloud and on-premise. A company will use either a cloud, a company will use either a on-premise, either a on-premise. 99% of the companies, they'll publish the reports to where? Cloud, and they'll share the reports to whom? Clients. 1% of the companies, they'll use what? On-premise. Which software mostly companies use to share the reports? Power BI service or cloud? Power BI report server. Power BI service. Write that point. So what is the difference is, Power BI service is a Azure cloud-based software, which is used to share the reports to the clients, which is used to share reports to the clients. How many percentage of companies are using? 99% of companies are using. Power BI report server. What is this Power BI report server? It's an on-premise software. It's a on-premise software which is used to share reports to the clients. Only 1%, less than 1%. In the coming classes, I will discuss what is cloud, what is on-premise, why companies are not using on-premise, why companies are using cloud. All that I'll discuss in the later classes. Okay, finally, what we understand is, in Power View, after I create the report, I'll publish the report mostly to Power BI service. I'll share the report to whom? Clients. Once you share the report to the client, where the client can see the report. So clients can see the report by using their laptops. Client can see the reports using their desktops if they have. Even clients can see the reports in the mobiles also. Where? Mobiles. Whatever the reports we shared with the clients, they can see using laptops or desktops or mobiles. In order to see the reports in the mobiles, they required a mobile app. What they required? Mobile app. So whatever the reports I shared with my clients mostly willing to see them in mobiles, they required a mobile app. What is the mobile app available in Power BI is Power BI Mobile. If you go to Play Store or App Store, you search with the name called Power BI Mobile. In the Play Store or App Store, search with the name called Power BI Mobile, you'll find a mobile app. That Power BI Mobile app is used. Power BI Mobile, it's a mobile app. It's a what? Mobile app, which is used to view the reports in where? Which is used to view the reports in mobiles or what? Tabs or what? iPads. We have mobile app for iOS. We have mobile app for Android. We have mobile app for Windows. Which mobile? This mobile app will be installed by developer or clients? Clients. Which mobile client is using? They will download the app. Now tell me guys, these are the different softwares available in Power BI. Using these softwares, am I able to do these 5 steps? Yes. Who will provide the OLTPs? Company. Where I do ETL? Power Query. Where I'll create OLAP? Power Pivot. Where I'll create reports? Power View. How I'll share the reports? Using Power BI service. Right? So if someone asks you, tell me what is Power BI, you need to tell Power BI is the name for collection of softwares which are used to perform data analysis. Which are used to perform what? Data analysis. Yes or no? Yes, this is the line. We clearly understand Power BI have multiple softwares in it, and that softwares are used to perform what? Data analysis. Now, let me write a small conclusion now. How to perform data analysis using Power BI? I'll write a small table. how to perform data analysis using Power BI. First step in the data analysis is OLTPs. Uh, uh, who will provide the OLTPs means companies. Who will provide? Companies. Second step in the data analysis is ETL. Tell me guys, in the data analysis ETL, where we will do in Power BI? Which software? Power Query. Second step is ETL will do in Power Query. Next step is creating OLAP. Where you will create OLAP? Power Pivot. Third step
Power
is
Pivot.
creating the reports. Creating reports. Where we will create the reports?
Power
Power
View.
View. Power View. So last step is sharing the reports with the clients. Share reports to clients. Where you will do it? Power BI service. Mostly with what? Power BI service. So the small table will tell us how to do data analysis using what? Power BI. In Power BI, ETL will be performed in Power Query, OLAP will be created in Power Pivot, reports will be generated in Power View, reports will be shared to the clients using Power BI service. Whatever we shown this, we show graphically here. In the Power BI architecture, this data will be provided by the company. ETL will be performed in the Power Query. OLAP database will be created in the Power Pivot. Reports will be generated in the Power View. That reports will publish it to Power BI service and share with whom? Clients. So this is what you are going to learn for the next 2 months of time. Today, whatever I discussed introduction theoretically, next 2 months of time you will learn practically. This is what about today's introduction class. I'm done with the technical part. I'll discuss some lot of important things. To learn Power BI or to become a Power BI data analyst, I'll discuss some general points, guys. These general points are important. Let's concentrate. I'll just copy paste few points and I'll explain. Oh, what are the things you require to become a Power BI data analyst? I'll tell you. I'm just copying some general points here and I'll just talk about them. It doesn't take much time. I'll just complete them in just few minutes. Now see, these are the points you need to learn, guys. Now, when I'm going to start a new batches, I'm going to start a new batch. New batch is going to start from tomorrow, guys. Sorry, tomorrow. It's not today. It's tomorrow, Thursday. It is 9th of October. I'm going to start tomorrow, 9th October, Thursday. The batch is going to start Thursday. Uh, Thursday. At what time? 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Continuation to today's class is tomorrow at what? Tomorrow is your regular class. The batch timings is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. If these timings work out for you, you continue this batch. If these timings are not working out, in the next week, mostly on the 16th, again 16th, guys, not 15th. Again 16th, Thursday, I'm going to start another batch in the morning time, 9:30 a.m. to what? 10:30 a.m. You can choose any batch. If you don't want to wait for a week, you join the current week batch, which is going to start at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. For next 2 months, timings is same. If these timings will not work out, wait for next week and join the 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. This is the new batch details. You guys can attend 2 more classes for free. However, you attended today's class for free. You can attend two classes for free. Tomorrow, 9th and 10th, Thursday and Friday are again 2 free classes. In the 2 free classes, I'll start practicals. Today we have only theory, right? We will see practicals. In the next class, I'll tell you how to install Power BI Desktop. What I'll tell you? How to install Power BI Desktop. Power BI developer work will start in Power BI Desktop. This data will be there in the company already. Our work will start here. So that is the reason tomorrow I'll tell you how to install Power BI Desktop. Once we install, I'll tell you how to open Power Query, how to do ETL. Then I'll tell you in Power Pivot how to create OLAP. Then I'll tell you in Power View how to create reports. Then I'll tell you how to publish the reports to Power BI service, how to share the reports to whom. Right. This complete process I'll discuss practically in the next 2 classes, guys. The 2 more classes are what? Practicals. So you will learn in the next 2 free. They will not cost you anything, guys. I request please join the next 2 classes. so that you will understand practically at a high level how Power BI software will work. You will learn in the next two free classes. Now, I'm going to drop one mail with you. You are going to get one mail now. That mail will contain, this is the new batch details, guys. So you are going to get one mail. The mail will contain four things. First thing you will get in the mail is what? Recorded session. You'll get this video. Second thing you are going to get is what? Notepad. This notepad I am going to share. This notepad, I written a lot of notes, right? I'm going to attach this notepad in the mail. You will also get introduction Word class Word document. You'll get lot of Word documents. All these are related to Power BI materials only. Every class you will get one Word document. Class wise you will get. Today we have introduction, right? This is the introduction Word document. uh, this kind of Word documents you will get it for every class, where you will find the explanation of that class. Along with this, you are going to get course content. What is the fourth one you are going to get mail? Course content. So what content I am going to cover as part of this course, you will get it. This is the course content. I'm going to attach this course content in the mail. So the duration of the course is, I'm going to cover the Power BI for 60 hours of time. In the 60 hours, what topics I'm going to cover, I listed in the 11 pages PDF, guys. I'm going to attach this. You please go through it. We will discuss every point what we listed over there. Okay, guys. So now I will not go and walk through step point by point. Going and walk through 11 pages will take a lot of time. But let me tell you every topic what I listed in this course content with practical real-time examples I'll explain. Right? Now, let me tell you the high-level breakdown what I'm going to cover in the 60 hours. The classes will be generally from Monday to Saturday, guys. Sunday is holiday. Monday to Saturday. So that it will take what? More than 2 months. More than 2 months. Classes will be from Monday to Saturday. In order to cover 60 hours of classes, it will take more than 2 months of time. In the more than 2 months of time, let me tell you the breakdown. I'll tell you 60 hours what I'll cover. So in the 60 hours, you will learn how to do data analysis using Power BI. You will learn how to do data analysis using what? Power BI. Keep in mind, in the 60 hours, you will learn how to do data analysis using a software called what? Power BI. So who will provide the OLTPs? Companies. We don't want to learn them. Already they will be available. First thing Power BI developer need to learn is what? ETL. Where you will do ETL? In Power Query. You will start learning Power Query for how many hours? 13 hours. 13 hours of time you will learn what? How to perform ETL activities. When you are learning Power Query, you will learn a language called what? Mashup language. Mashup language. M language or mashup language we will learn. We will learn Power Query for 13 hours, where you will learn how to do the ETL. There you will learn one language called mashup language. Okay, that's fine. Once after doing ETL, what is the next step data analyst need to do? Creating OLAP. Where we will create OLAP? Power Pivot. You will learn Power Pivot for how many hours? 17 hours. 17 hours of time, what you will learn? How to create OLAP database. So there you will learn data modeling concepts, data warehousing concepts, and one important language called DAX language. DAX language. In Power Query, it uses M language. In Power Pivot, it uses what? DAX language. So you will learn this. OLAP, Power Pivot is important. After creating OLAP, next step is what? Creating reports. Where you will create reports? Power View. You will learn Power View for how many hours? 17 hours, where you will see how to create what? Reports. Once you create the reports, what is the next step? We need to share the reports to the clients using what? Power BI service. You learn Power BI service for how many hours? 13 hours. In the 13 hours of time, you learn Azure cloud concepts, admin related concepts, and Power BI project. This is the high level breakdown of how many hours? 60 hours. In the 60 hours of time, thoroughly you will learn every point. So in this course, what are the add-ons you will get is, you'll get real-time projects. We'll discuss real-time projects. This kind of projects we will do. We will do this kind of projects in this training course. So in this project, I'm going to take the data from SQL Server database. These are the tables I'll take. And these are the ETL activities I'll do. And this is how I'll create the databases. And so there are a lot of requirements in these projects. As per the requirements, we'll create the reports, all this. Even tomorrow, when you are working in the company, the way you do the project is same. However, I do the project here in the company also, will do the project same. And you will learn what? So Before I explain remaining 3 points, let me tell you who can learn Power BI. Who are the people can learn Power BI? We will tell you guys, and come back. I'll come back and discuss about this add-ons. So freshers can learn Power BI. Freshers means the people who completed their graduation in the 2023 year, 2024 year, or 2025 year might be considered as freshers. These people can learn Power BI, and you can look for the job as a fresher. You don't keep any experience. You said that on so and so institute I learned Power BI and I'm good at Power BI. I want a job as a fresher. There are a lot of opportunities for freshers. And second one, who can learn is career break or career gap. So you completed your graduation or post graduation in the year 2020, or some people might complete in 2025. So they might not be working anywhere now. They have a lot of gap. For some reasons they are not working, though we can call them as career break or career gap. So these people can learn Power BI, guys. What these people will do is, after learning Power BI, they'll keep 3 to 5 years of experience on Power BI. They don't get the job. These people don't get the job as a fresher. They want to showcase some experience. 3 to 5 years of experience you need to showcase. How you can showcase that 3 to 5 years of experience is, there will be some consultancies. That consultancies will provide you the experience. You will show that experience, guys. Ah, so I designed this Power BI course in such a way where you can keep 3 to 5 years of experience comfortably, and where you can crack the interview by your own, where you can do the Power BI project by your own. In such a way I design it. So most of the people who will come to me to learn Power BI is who have career break. So this is the second category of people who can learn Power BI. Third category of people is career transition. Already you are working in the company, software company, but you are working in the QA or testing. You are working in testing, or you are working in some other domain, some other, yeah, or you are working in HR domain now, or you are working in customer support, or you are working in admin side. So you are working already, but you are working in some other domain or banking or some other domain you are working. You want to switch to data analysis, guys. So then Power BI is the right option. So let's assume uh, you are working in testing for last 10 years. Assume. So what you will do is, out of this 10 years, we'll tell that last 5 years, we are working on Power BI. Before 5 years, you can keep same experience, and we will look for the Power BI job, right? So who want to do career transition, Power BI is best. Why I am telling that Power BI is best for career break people or career transition people is, you want to keep some 3 to 5 years of experience on Power BI in order to get the job. So Power BI is easy to learn. Power BI is easy to survive. Even though you keep 5 years of experience, we can survive. Let's say I learn Java and I want to keep 5 years experience on Java. It is very difficult to crack the interview. Lot of coding, 5 years. Same if you learn Power BI and if you keep 5 years, you can survive. In such a way, I will teach, because the software is easy. Tomorrow, even when they provide a project, you can individually do it because it's a easy software. You can work. That is the reason I'm telling, who have career break or who want to do career transition, Power BI is best to learn. And I'm going to provide all the, see here, uh, as most of the people here want to keep the experience. So as they do in the experience, they'll tell that they do some 3 4 projects already. When they do 3 4 projects, they need to know what are the Power BI developer roles and responsibilities will have. So in a Power BI project, when you are doing the project, what are the roles and responsibilities we'll have, we need to know. I'll clearly explain what are the different roles and responsibilities a Power BI developer will have with practical real-time examples. What we are going to cover? The practical real-time examples. We will cover what are the roles and responsibilities a Power, and we will help you in preparing the resumes. I'll talk to one-on-one, whether you are a fresher, how to prepare the resume. You have a career gap, how to prepare the resume, or you want to do career transition from HR to Power BI, or from testing to Power BI, how to prepare the resume, or you are working in the banking, how to switch from banking side to Power BI side. I'll tell you, and we will conduct mock interviews. I'll discuss lot of interview questions. Based on the resume you prepared, I'll conduct the mock interviews. Who can learn Power BI? I already explained, right? All the 60 hours of recorded sessions we'll share with you. Every class recording, you will get it. You can go through the recording and you can listen to it. Sometimes you cannot understand the subject in one go. So you listen to the live class, you don't understand. You'll get a video, you can refer to it again. Hmm? And you'll have a dedicated supporting team. You are practicing and you got some questions. You don't need to wait for the trainer. You have a support team, so you can call them, you can ask your questions, they'll clarify your questions. If support team is not able to clarify your questions, you can reach out to me also, right? So now I'll go with the questions. This is what I'm going to offer as part of this training. I clearly listed the 60 hours what I am going to cover in more than 2 months in the few steps. Now I'll go with the questions. A common question people will ask is, okay, I'm curious to learn Power BI. uh, any prerequisite to learn it? A lot of people will tell that I came from non-IT background, I don't have any prior computer knowledge. Am I eligible to learn Power BI? I can strictly tell a intermediate student can even learn Power BI. Not required any IT knowledge, not required any computer knowledge. You can come and join my classes. Within 60 hours, I'll teach Power BI from very basic to the project level or the advanced level. So no prerequisite to learn what? Power BI. Okay. So you join my courses, within 2 months, you learn Power BI thoroughly. But one point you need to remember is only Power BI will not get you the job. What you don't get the job? Only Power BI you cannot get the job. In order to get the job in Power BI, we need some supporting skills, guys. What we need? We need some supporting skills. What is the mandatory supporting skill to required to get the job on Power BI SQL? I'll tell you. Concentrate. So 90% of Power BI jobs will be in the combination of Power BI plus SQL. What combination? Power BI plus SQL, you will have how much jobs? Only when you learn Power BI, only Power BI will not get you the job. Along with Power BI, one mandatory skill you need to learn is what? SQL. I'll talk about the SQL. Just wait. There are some jobs where you will have Power BI plus SQL plus Excel. There are some jobs you will have Power BI SQL plus ADF. There are some jobs Power BI SQL plus what? W. So I can tell, ignore this combination. The major combination, this different combination is only 10%. Major combination is what? Power BI plus SQL. You need to concentrate this too. Now, let's try to understand what is SQL. We will understand what is SQL, why all the jobs required SQL, why Power BI jobs required SQL. SQL stands for what? Structured query language. It's a language which is used in all the databases. You name any database, all the databases will use one language called what? SQL. All the databases use a language called SQL, structured query language. So if you want to communicate with any database, we need a language called what? SQL. However, English language is common for us. Now today, I'm explaining the class using English. Why? You know, and it is a common language between us. Here also, all the databases common language is what language? SQL language. So in order to communicate with any database, we need know SQL. Here, important point is, nowhere in the Power BI, we don't use SQL. SQL is not used to extract the data. SQL is not used to do ETL. SQL is not used to create OLAP. SQL is not used to create reports. SQL is not used to publish the reports or to share the reports with the clients. Without knowing the SQL, you can complete the Power BI project. Without knowing the SQL, what you can do? We can complete the Power BI project. When you can do the complete Power BI work without knowing the SQL, I'm telling that you can happily learn the Power BI without knowing the SQL. You can complete the Power BI project without knowing the SQL. When you can do everything without knowing the SQL, why Power BI jobs they're asking SQL? See, if in Power BI we need to use SQL, then learning the SQL is okay. I'm telling that we don't use SQL anywhere in Power BI. Without knowing SQL, you can complete the Power BI project. Then why we required SQL? Why we required SQL? Anybody know? Online people? So what is the reason we need to know SQL is, okay, mostly companies will store the business data
Data
in one of the
analyst.
database. 99% of the time, companies will store the data in the database only. You will take the data from database, you'll do the ETL in Power Query, you'll create OLAP database in PowerPoint, you'll create the reports in Power View. How can you blindly tell your report is correct? You are moving the data from Power Query to PowerPoint, PowerPoint to Power View, and then you are showing it. There is chance you might do a mistake in Power Query, you might do a mistake in PowerPoint, you might do a mistake in Power View, you might be showing the wrong number here. So that wrong number I am not supposed to share with my client. After I go and create the report, I need to test the report, guys. How you will go and test the report is, you will go and write one SQL query here. What you will write? Databases can understand only one language called what? SQL. That SQL query you need to write. In order to write SQL query, you need to know what? SQL knowledge. That SQL query will give some output. That output you need to compare with what? Report out. When this output and report output is same, then only you need to share the report to whom? Clients. Try to understand these points. SQL is not used anywhere in the development phase of what? Power BI project. After developing the reports, Power BI developer need to do what? Test the reports. To test the reports, SQL is used to test the reports. To develop the report, SQL not required. When you are working in the Power BI project, to do ETL, to create OLAP, to create reports, SQL was not required. We don't use. Only we will use in where? While testing the reports. Whether your numbers are correct or not, to test it, we'll use SQL. So there is no dependency while learning. So people will think that after learning SQL, I need to learn Power BI. After learning Power BI, I need to learn SQL. You can individually learn them. I recommend parallelly you start learning it. In order to learn SQL, we need to learn one database. So you need to learn any one of the database. In our training institute, we are teaching SQL Server database, where we are teaching SQL for how many hours? 40 hours of time. So in order to get the job on Power BI, you need to learn Power BI and SQL together. To learn SQL, you need to learn one database. Either you need to learn MySQL database. SQL concepts are same. Whether you learn any database, the way that they will explain SQL is same. You need to learn one database. In our training institute, we teach Power BI for 60 hours to develop the reports. We'll teach SQL for 40 hours to test the reports. So this one, I'm the one who will teach it. SQL, Venkatesh sir is the one who will teach it. You can learn parallelly. Let's say you learn Power BI in the evening time. You learn SQL in the morning time. You need to learn both parallelly. Now I'll go with the questions, guys. These are the front desk team numbers. So Power BI jobs, you can search with the jobs. If you go to Naukri or LinkedIn, in order to search the Power BI jobs, you search with data analyst, some Power BI developer, Power BI data analyst, analytics specialist, Power BI consultant. Like this, different designations you will have. Now we'll go with the questions, guys. Anybody have any questions? We completed the demo now. We'll go with the questions. Online people.